If you want to be just okay, then just get up, grab your phone, do whatever you're going to do, watch the news, right? Check your inbox, and let society and other people own you for the first hour of your day. Cede control, and you'll still be okay. But if you want to be great, you want to be the best, you got to own your morning. It's immutable. Has to happen. Hi, this is Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. My goal inside of this communication, this show, is to share with you my nearly 30 years of coaching some of the most successful financial advisors in North America. We're going to be talking about strategies, syntaxes. We're going to bring guests on from time to time, and I'm going to share with you what's working now. So think of this show as sort of like a little one-on-one kind of mini coaching cast, if you like, where we're going to be going in depth from time to time on strategies to help you grow your business, get more effective, become more efficient, find balance in your time management, grow your business, and quite frankly, whatever else is going on in the world today. So before we get to today's episode, I'd love for you to do a couple things for me. Number one, make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're doing the audio, make sure that you give us a review on whether it's Spotify or Apple. We'd really appreciate that. And quite frankly, that does help. It does matter when you rate things and like things and subscribe to things. It helps us get the word out to more of the industry. And lastly, I have a very special gift for you. Go to MagellanNetwork.net, so one word, MagellanNetwork.net, and I have for you a complimentary membership, 100% gratis, where you can tap into about between 50 and 75 hours of masterclasses, forms, tools, templates, and strategies. So please go ahead and make sure you go ahead and get that claimed. Smash the like button and subscribe. And please go ahead and leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you're on. And now, let's get to this week's episode. Hi, it's your Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, in this episode, I'm going to give you a morning ritual protocol and also make the case why every advisor has to own their first hour of every day. Here we are, really the Ides of March, right? Q1 in 2024 is barreling to a close pretty soon. And I want to take some time, kind of continue our series on how to have a great 2024. If you go back to early January, I gave you, I think it was like 19 or 21 different success protocols. And what we're doing over the next obviously for the last several weeks, months, is taking each one and breaking it down a little bit more like a mini masterclass, a mini training process. So today, let's talk about morning rituals and why they're so important. I learned the power of morning rituals back in the Tony Robbins days, even listening to, for some of you remember this, right? Remember Personal Power, right? I can go back. I had the actual cassette tapes, right? Then they did CDs and so on. But there was one session there called Your Hour of Power, Your Power Hour, right? And what that was all about was how to own the first hour of the day, to prime yourself, right, to be excellent that day. And I never forgot that, and I've always practiced a version of that my entire adult life. And one of the core things I do for advisors is that we install a version of that so that every advisor has the best opportunity to have a great day because you own your morning. And it was interesting. This past summer, I took the family to Italy for kind of family sabbatical, if you will. And now my old version, I'm gonna share some. And what I'm going to do also is kind of walk you through the steps that we recommend. So I'm not going to leave you kind of out there. I'm going to give you precisely what you need to do. But what I used to do early in the morning is I used to get up, have a little quiet time, but then I'd get into my technology, right? Now for me, it would be like YouTube videos, some podcasts, some stuff like that. But it was still electronic in orientation. And when I was in Italy for 3 weeks in the summer, I kind of had my phone, but I brought some books. And what I ended up doing for the 3 weeks while I was overseas was I ended up having basically a cappuccino and reading for about an hour in the morning and journaling and just kind of no technology. And I came back home, right? Came back to the States after that, and I got back into okay, now let's get back into the routine. And after about 2 or 3 days, I was like, man, I kind of miss my quiet time, right? Think about it. In our society today, when do you really have quiet time? Most human beings, right? They get up in the morning, first thing they do is if you're watching the YouTube video, they reach for the phone, their mobile device, right? And I think that's a terrible idea, right? I love the idea of taking, anywhere from, 15 to 30 minutes and just being with you. So the first part of the protocol is that when you get up in the morning, whatever time that is, again, there's no, I don't assign like you have to be up by this hour. I would always say you want to be up early enough to give yourself a good 30 to 45 minutes to do this. And I know for some of you, that's just like, man, but Joe, I'm not a morning person. You can be if you want it to be. You choose not to be. And really where the morning ritual, this whole concept came from, not just Tony, but if you look at athletes, you can pick your sport. I don't care, right? You could even pick, if you're not into sports, you can pick, an artist, a musician, a singer, whatever. Taylor Swift's kind of big right now. I don't think she just shows up 5 minutes before her concert and straps on the guitar and goes out there and let's hope it works. There's preparation, there's practice, there's rehearsal, right? There's getting ready to be great. And that's the difference. That's the key difference. If you want to be just okay, then just get up, grab your phone, do whatever you're going to do, watch the news, right? Check your inbox and let society and other people own you for the first hour of your day. Seat control. And you'll still be okay. But if you want to be great, you want to be the best, you got to own your morning. It's immutable. Has to happen. So the first thing we're going to ask you to do is get up early enough to make sure you can get this done. Okay? And the first part is quiet time. So like I was saying, my experience in Italy, I came back to the United States, came back to Florida here, and got back into my routine, and I found it wasn't good. I didn't like it anymore. So I really have gone, for me, for the first 30 minutes, I'm tech-free. I don't need my phone. I get up, I make a cup of coffee. I'll probably be in a book. I'll have my journal. If it's nice out, I'll sit outside by the pool. I live in Florida, so we can kind of do that year-round, quite frankly. And I'm just with me. Now, what am I doing? Am I reading the whole 30 minutes? I could. Am I journaling the whole 30 minutes? Probably not. But what I'm doing is I'm thinking. I'm visualizing. I'm Q&Aing myself. And again, I don't care where you sit, just not in front of a screen. Leave your phone where it is. And for some of you that are part of Magellan Network, especially our core program, like every morning at 5 o'clock Eastern, we publish a video, like a daily coaching video. And I'm even saying don't watch that until you get your 30 minutes of quiet time. Now, why is that important? I just think we're so busy trying to be busy. When do you stop to think? When do you just have silence? If we go back in time a little bit, Da Vinci, right? Michelangelo, Edison, any great writer, author, they would sequester themselves. This is before the phones were a thing, right? They would sequester themselves in like laboratories or retreats or something like that to work on problems, to create, right? Now, most human beings, they got to be within 3 feet of their phone, otherwise they go through withdrawals. It's terrible. So what I'm asking you to do the first 30 minutes a day, create a technology-free zone for you. Coffee, tea, water, whatever. Meditate, journal, pray, read, whatever you want to do. Sit in silence. Totally fine with that. 30 minutes. Next. Now, if you're part of our core program, now you'll get your mobile device and watch the core video, right? Our training video. If you're not part of our core group, then go find like a YouTube video or maybe a podcast or something like that, and just spend 5 or 10 minutes. Get some good mental diet, like we talked about last week. Mental diet, right? Get some good stuff in the mind. Start your mental nutrition on a really strong note. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to do one act of gratitude. And it was fascinating because I think a lot of people struggle with this, which I always found kind of odd. And so what I mean by pick a family, a friend, a colleague, a coworker, or a client. You could text them if the time is okay. If not, you can email them. And basically, it's just like, hey man, I'm thinking about you, and I just want to say I'm so grateful to have you in my life, or I'm so grateful to have you as a client. I just was thinking about you this morning. I just want to let you know, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be your friend, your colleague, your advisor, whatever it happens to be. And you just do one. I'm not asking you to do like 5 or 10 of these things a day. Just one. If you want to do more, I'm not going to tell you no. First of all, if you make somebody else's, so first you're going to make another human being's day. But the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to get some good vibe. You're going to get some good vibes back, right? And where's that term? Yeah, hey, let's get some good vibes out. Where does that come from? Well, it comes from vibration, and there's positive vibration and negative vibration, and so we want to be putting out positive energy, positive vibes, right? And that's just it's gonna lighten up. It's gonna lighten somebody's day, and it's gonna lighten up our day too. And we like that. So one act of gratitude. It'll take you a minute to do that, right? From that perspective. Hi, Coach Joe Lukacs here, and I'm just breaking here for a moment just to do a couple quick reminders. Number one, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast. In addition, please leave a comment or a review. Those things really, really matter. And share this episode with 3 of your colleagues inside the financial services space. And lastly, make sure that you go ahead and claim your free membership inside of Magellan Network. Now back to this week's episode. Then we want you to review your goals. Now, if you're in our protocol, we have a summary tool. So, and I'm not going to go through all this stuff here, but we have a 2-page summary that we use inside of Network. That really just works really well, and it's a 2-pager. People read it, works excellent, and stuff like that. If you don't have that, just make sure you're reviewing your goals. That you have that, you're really locked down, critically important. And now why? Because most advisors basically they'll set goals or do a business plan, even, right? And then they kind of forget about it. It kind of disappears, like it's a tax return, right? Like, okay, hey, I did the goal thing for the day, for the year. I'm good. File away. And it used to drive me crazy. It still drives me crazy. I don't used to. Let me rephrase that. It still drives me crazy. I'll talk to an advisor and I'll say, hey, do you have a goals and business plan? Yeah. Do you have it in writing? Yeah. When's the last time you looked at it? And there's silence. Months. Like, why did you do it if you're not going to live it, right? So you want to do, so again, 12-month goals, we do a 10-year, 3-year, 1-year protocol here. But if you're not in our protocol process, then just make sure you have your annual goals, right? Just one page, I don't care, write it down. Look at it every morning. Take you a whopping 30 seconds, 1 sip of coffee or tea. Not a big deal, right? Next thing we're going to have you do, we work in periods. And there's 2 iterations. We either do quarterlies or we do period 1, period 2, period 3. Period 1 is Jan 1 to Memorial Day. Period 2 is Memorial Day to Labor Day. Period 3 is Labor Day till New Year's Eve. I don't care how you want to structure your year, but inside of that, you want to take your 1 year, right, and break it down into quarterly goals. Let's just keep it that simple right now. And so you want to look at that. So I got 1 page for the annuals, 1 page for the quarterlies, really, really important. Next, what are you doing today? What's your game plan for today? Right? Now, in our world, right, we have tools and templates and stuff like that. So we have like a 1-page daily game plan builder our members use. You can use your CRM. I'm not a big fan of sticky notes, to be honest with you, so I'm not going to go down that road. But have something. Here's really the standard. Do not hit the office. Listen to me. Do not hit the office and then trying to figure out what the heck you're going to do that day. It's too late. Game's on. It started. You're behind. Okay? Now, some of you are going to sit there and say, but Joe, I have little kids. And look, so I've dealt with every possible iteration of this. Okay? So let me give you the last piece, then we'll kind of give you some best practices. So the last thing I'm going to have you do is move your body. Now, some of you may go to the gym and work out. Some of you may walk. Some of you may run. Some of you may Peloton, right? I don't care. That's fine. Or some of you may do it later. But 5 or 10 minutes, go take a walk, go stretch. If you work out, that's great. So I'm not going to tell you not. I mean, for me, I tend to, I like to go outside and watch the sun come up. So I'll be out in my garden or my yard, really cutting stuff down and raking stuff and doing some physical stuff I do it for about 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the day. And then I hit the gym midday for my weight training, my resistance training. but move your body 5-10 minutes first thing in the morning. Okay, really important. So if you look at that, right, quiet time, some reviews, make sure you have a daily game plan set up to go, 5 minutes of moving around. You could probably walk on a treadmill, knock a lot of this out simultaneously. It's not a lot of time. Not a lot of time. Okay. So some hacks, if you will, or some strategies. And strategy number one, this does not get done in the office. I don't care. You're going to have your inbox, your voicemail, your screens, no go. Okay? Don't do it. So this is not done in the office. Number two, be flexible. You don't have to do it every day the same way. I've got clients that go to Panera, that go to Starbucks, that go to a local coffee house. I got people that do it in their car, by a lake, by the beach. I don't care where it's done. Does it have to be done all at once? No. I mean, I've got clients that have small children, and they've got family duty in the morning. And so they'll get up early, have their quiet time, right? That kind of 30-minute window. Then they'll get the kids ready. Then they get themselves ready. And then they're going to get in their car and they're going to go Starbucks, and then they're going to go park somewhere. And they're going to review their strategic plan, their quarterly plan, their daily game plan. They're going to do gratitude, right? And then maybe they'll walk around a little bit, move their body. That's it. But it's before they hit the office. So there's a lot of different ways to make this happen. But here's what I'll tell you. After 30 years of observation, right? 30 years. If you don't control the first hour of the day, you're not going to control your day. And you're going to be a victim. And look, I'm going to tell you a quick story. Early in my career, like I said earlier, like mid-90s, early in my career, okay? I happened to, that's when I was doing a lot of cold walking back then. And this gentleman, he was probably about 63, 64 when he hired me. And I remember asking him, his name was Bill. I said, Bill, let me ask you a question, man. Like you're this is when multi-million-dollar production was a real big deal back then. You're a multi-million-dollar producer. You have a team of cold callers. You got you're successful. You don't need to be here doing this. You do it because you love to do it. Like, why are we working? Why are you working with me? And he goes, because you're back then, right? Because you're young. You may have a couple of ideas I haven't thought about, and I want you to keep me relevant. I said, okay, great. We're in. But I asked him one thing once. I said, if you had a room full of new baby brokers, 'cause that's what they were back then, stockbrokers, I said, what nugget of wisdom would you give them if you only give them one, right? Because I want the one, right? I don't want 15 things, I want one. And he really thought about it. Like, he was very intentional. That's what I liked about Bill. Like, he did not just kind of throw stuff out there and hope it worked. He was very very methodical in his thinking. And he goes, I forget, I think he was doing it close to 40 years at the time. So you can imagine, he started in his 20s. This was the 90s, so he started like literally, I want you to do the math on that, right? He started like in 50s. Think about that. And he said, I look back on my career, he goes, it's really just a collection of things, So, if you think about it. So I've been at this 40 years. That means I've had like 4 great decades. And each decade is really a collection of years. And each year is a collection of quarters. And each quarter is a collection of months. And each month is a collection of weeks. And each week is a collection of a day. And if you boil it down, win today. Like, tomorrow's in the books. Yesterday's in the books. Tomorrow's not here yet. In the moment, right? What are you going to do today to be successful? And I never forgot that. So why is that relevant to this conversation this morning? Or whenever you're watching or listening to this? Because if you want to have a great day, you got to have a great morning. And I think all of you know what I mean by that. Because all of you have done something at some point in your career where there's this moment of, hey, I'm going to get myself organized. And so I'm going to get up early. And I'm going to go lay out my clothes. I'm going to maybe go take a walk. And then you have a great day. But you can't sustain it because you fall back. I'm telling you, somebody asked me in a podcast recently that I'm going to get you guys out of here. Joe, how can you predict? Oh, I forgot the question. The question was, is there a way to predict whether or not an advisor is going to be really successful early in their career. That was the question now. And I thought about it because I like, that's an interesting question. Let me think about that for a minute. I said, what would I be looking for? And I'm pretty quick on my feet or in my mind. And I came up with three things. And there are probably more, but the three that kind of at the moment, I said there are three factors in my mind, based on my experience, will determine an advisor's level of success. Factor number one, what is their game plan? So in other words, what are they looking to accomplish? Is it in writing? What are their goals? What is their 10-year vision? What is their 3-year vision? What are they looking to accomplish, right? So what do we have in terms of a roadmap, a game plan, and is it in writing, and do we look at it every day? So that's factor number one. Factor number two is how much are they reinvesting back in themselves in terms of time and money? How are they making themselves the best version of themselves, right? That matters. Reinvestment, that's number two. Number three, tell me how they spend the first hour of every day. Three things. If you could look at those three things and score really well, you're in great shape. Those three things. But that's what really matters, okay? So I just the takeaways from our conversation in this episode, bottom line, is own your mornings, right? No excuses. I don't care, I've had clients, oh, Joe, I just can't get up early. I said, go to bed earlier. A lot of your sabotaging, for those of you who are struggling in the morning, it is not your morning that's the problem. It's the evening that screws you. And it just carries over to the next day. And this is why you have a challenge, okay? So don't sit there and try to, I'm going to fix this. It's like, hey, you know what? I've got a flat tire. I'm going to go put air in the tire. Yeah, we got no oil. Like, don't focus on the little thing. Focus on the big thing, which is the night before. If you're eating dinner late, if you're up late, if you're in front of a screen late, you are not going to sleep well. You're not going to feel like getting up early. And it's easy for the brain to say, hey, we're not going to do this. Just not. I grew up in the bar restaurant business. I used to go to bed at 4 a.m. My senior year of high school, I would literally come home from high school. I would do my homework, take a nap. I'd get up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and I'd work till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, then go to school at 7:30 the next day. Like I slept 4 hours and 4 hours. That's how I did it my senior year, okay? I was a night owl. Now I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's weird. Like I get up now when I used to go to bed. Like in my teens and my late teens, early 20s. It's shocking. It's like wild. Bottom line is you can change if you want. Make a commitment to do so, okay? So thanks for watching or listening to this episode of Magellan Network Show. Hey, just like this. Make sure to subscribe. Forward this to your friends and colleagues in the game. Just love to get this word out if you find this episode or any of these episodes valuable. And I will see you again next week. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net. And we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game, both personally and professionally.